This is the Freak Athlete Nordic Hyper GHD. It's an extremely versatile piece of equipment. They advertise it as a 6-in-1 machine, but there are a lot of other exercises that you can do on this thing other than just the 6 exercises that they advertise. So I had an idea, since I've been using this thing for a whole lot of stuff that it's not actually supposed to be used for, I was like, I wonder how many exercises you can actually do with this. So I have a challenge for myself today. I am going to set a timer for 30 minutes and I'm going to see how many exercises I can do on this machine. Now, as a quick note on what counts as a separate exercise versus what does not count as a separate exercise, anything that is the same exercise, so like for example, a regressed Nordic curl versus a flat Nordic curl versus a decline Nordic curl, that's all the same exercise. Or if it's a weighted glute ham raise versus a body weight glute ham raise, that's the same exercise. So it has to be actually different in some way other than the amount of resistance that you're adding to it to count as an exercise. But before we get into the video, hi, my name is Ryan Treadaway, founder of TreadawayTraining.com. If you'd like to work with me and my team to achieve your body transformation goals, click the link down in the description, and I'll also include a link for this piece of equipment down in the description as well if you don't already have it and would like to pick it up. And that is an affiliate link, so it does help out the channel if you use the link, but does not add any additional cost to you. I've got my 30-minute timer set here. I am going to hit play and we're gonna see how many exercises that we can do. First up, I already have it in back extension mode, so I am going to do a back extension first. All right, and while I'm here, very similar exercise, but a little bit different, is a 45-degree glute ham raise. So instead of bending at the back, we're hinging at the hip, so it is a little bit different exercise. All right, I'm gonna be keeping tally marks on the board here so I can keep up with how many exercises I have done. Dumbbell preacher curl. Next up, easy curl bar and or barbell easy curl. Preacher curl. I'll go ahead and put it in Nordic mode. Nordic curls. I haven't had Nordic curls in the last 2 phases of my program. So, to start off nice and easy, started with a little bit of a regression there. Let us do some hip thrusts. I'm gonna grab this small bar because I'm a little bit cramped on space here. But part of the challenge is I have to demonstrate each exercise or it does not count. So hip thrust. I don't think I put a tally mark for Nordic curl. So boom, that is 6 exercises so far. What shall we do next? What shall we do next? Let us raise it up. So part of the challenge here is the fact that I didn't plan anything ahead of time. That's what makes this a challenge. And so if I had a list planned out, I would be able to more easily come up with exercises and not spend as much time making adjustments. So I'll probably waste a lot of time making adjustments. Some GHD sit-ups. My back is tweaked a little bit right now, so I'm not gonna go very low on these. And as I pointed out in my original review, I don't really count this as a true function of this machine because you can't go actually flat. You have to have this little bit of an angle here. So I wouldn't count this as a true reverse hyper. But you can still do them pretty effectively. See, here's an example of me wasting some time because I thought about there's other exercises that you can do in hip thrust mode. And here I am having to adjust it back to hip thrust mode again. There, you can do split squats. And again, hopefully still on camera here, but you can do Copenhagen Holds. So we're at 11 exercises so far. And then let us do some glute ham raises. All right, this thing hasn't been as heavily in my rotation in this last phase of the program, so I'm actually trying to remember some of the things that I know I've previously used it for. "13 exercises. The time pressure gets you too, because now I'm actually on camera on a timer and I can't stop the camera to think. Now, this is not something I've used it before so far, but I think this might work. So personally, I always use push-up handles when I'm doing push-ups, because my wrists get aggravated pretty easily if I'm doing actual fully pronated push-ups. So I wonder if you can use this as a push-up handle. What if I use this as like a yoga block? See how that feels. It's good enough that I'll count it, but honestly, it's probably the least of the exercises that I've done so far. It's doable, but it's not amazing by any stretch. And another thing to keep in mind is I am not using the leg developer attachment as a part of this. I'm only using the base machine itself as a part of this. Middle of the video update. I just got a text with somebody that needs to schedule a meeting with me, and so I need to leave 10 minutes earlier than I thought I had to. So we're gonna make this challenge harder, and we're gonna change it from a 30-minute timer to a 20-minute timer, which means we have 5 minutes left. Another rule that makes this a little bit more difficult, I didn't explicitly state this at the beginning, but I'm not using any other pieces of equipment in conjunction with this that most people wouldn't have. So like, for example, I know you could do leg extensions with monkey feet, but most people aren't gonna have those, so they don't count for this video. Or if you have to have some sort of elaborate setup with some like cables or something like that, those don't count for this video either. Another thing that I have done, and I will count this as a separate exercise, is if you take a bench, everybody pretty much who has a home gym is gonna have a bench, and probably, or if you don't have a bench, you have a chair. All right, and the reason why I'm counting this as a separate exercise is because this actually is very different. with this seated preacher curl here and setting at this height, it changes the movement so that the biggest stretch of the entire movement is right here at the bottom, creating a much bigger stretch on the bicep. So it really is a different exercise than the standing variation, even though the only difference is seated versus standing. So I will count that one, even though it is extremely similar and kind of blurs the line of my own rules there. I've personally not done this exercise on this machine before, but we will see if it works well. So lay back. Oh yeah. And that little head crack right there, that works nice. This is actually good. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that, I like that. So, oh, I gotta demonstrate the extensions. It doesn't count if I doesn't. Wow, English. Doesn't count if I don't demonstrate it. So neck extensions. So neck curls, neck extensions. 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left, 30 seconds left. All right, I'm not gonna raise it all the way up because I'm almost out of time. I should have kept my weight. 8, 7, 6. Arms extended crunch. And I ran out of time. All right, so that's the list. Probably could have come up with more. We came up with 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 exercises in 20 minutes that you can do with the Freak Athlete Nordic Hyper GHD. Getting a meeting moved on me in the middle of the call, and also the pressure of doing everything on video kind of messed me up a little bit, but shortening the time window by 10 minutes, we still come up with 18 exercises. So they advertise this as a 6-in-1 machine, understandably so, because a lot of these exercises are things that you can do, but are definitely not primary functions of this machine. So it is wise of them to market it the way that they are already marketing it. And again, I expressed in my original video that I personally would call this a 5-in-1 machine, not a 6-in-1 machine, because of having to do a slightly modified hyperextension or reverse hyperextension rather than a true hyperextension. But they call it a 6-in-1 machine. Today we've demonstrated 18-in-1, not counting the leg developer, which would add a few other exercises as well. And big news coming up from Freak Athlete. I can't tell you in this video just yet. I'm under contract to not say anything, but there are some things coming up ahead from the guys at Freak Athlete. And as soon as I can talk about those things, I will talk about those things. So if you want to learn more about what they're cooking up over there, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss that video. Again, if you want to check out this machine, you can click the link down in the description. And if you want to work with me and my team to achieve your body transformation goals, second link down in the description. As always, God bless you and your family, and we'll see you next week. The Nordic Hype, and before we get into the video, hi, my name is Ryan Treadaway, founder of TreadawayTraining.com, where we help. I've changed my intro so many times that I forget what it is now.